My name is Yves Kenao, and I am your host for today. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who just turned their TV on, you are watching Tempo Afrique TV, special edition. Today, we are going to talk about the newest, the latest independent country in Africa. I know some people will say, which one is that one and since when? But the only thing I can tell you is that there's a new, brand new independent country in Africa, somewhere in Africa. I'm not gonna tell you where, because on this show, somebody will come straight from the motherland Africa to tell you which part of Africa that new country is the most latest independent country in our motherland Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Mr. Mustafa. I'm not going to say his last name. I am scared to say wrong. I will let himself introduce himself to you guys, but right now, with your permission, please join me to welcome the chairman of SONSAF, Mr. Mustafa. Mustafa, hi.
Hi.
And I want to welcome you in our studio, in Tempo Africa studio. And now, let's just start the show. You come straight from Somaliland, and you come here with a lot of information about Somaliland. Where we can find Somaliland in the African map. Why today we are talking about Somaliland, and how the election in Somaliland went, and who is the new president of Somaliland. And yourself, you are a writer, you have a new book, and you're going to talk about your book here. So I want you to introduce yourself to our viewer.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Yves. Thank you, Tempo Afrique. I'm really glad to be here with you tonight, and to have an interview with you, really.
Yes.
I have a lot of information about Somaliland and SONSAF, and as you have already said, the newest country in the African continent, although the international community have yet recognized it as an independent state, but it was de facto state since 1991, in 27 years. So my name is Mustafa, once again, Mustafa Saad Dimbil. I'm the chairman of Somaliland Non-State Actors Forum, SONSAF.
Yeah, you are in the United States, you are in Minnesota today, and it is a pleasure for me to have you in this studio and to talk with you about Somaliland. Exactly, for people who don't know Somaliland, can you give us an idea about Somaliland? What is Somaliland? Where find Somaliland in the map, and why Somaliland?
Thank you. Somaliland is a country in the Horn of Africa. Somaliland is a country which got its original independence from the British colonial in 1960, 26th of June. After 4 days,
Yeah.
Somaliland have merged with the Italian Somalia in the south, which was occupied by the Italian colony as well.
Yes.
So Somaliland have 4 million population people that resides there.
Yeah.
They have a lot of potentiality, but the history of Somaliland have started in 1960, but in 1991,
Yeah.
Somaliland has reclaimed its sovereignty once again.
Yeah.
And for the last 27 years, it has been a separate country, which has been running by its own. It has its own factional government. It has its currency. It has its flag. It has its borders.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has 6 successful elections.
6.
6 successful elections. 3 presidential elections, 2 local council elections, and 1 parliamentarian elections. And its democratic system has been adopted in 2002. So in a matter of 16 years,
Yeah.
it did 6 successful elections, which international observers have witnessed it as a free and fair election.
Okay. If they have, if Somaliland has a successful democratic election, so why they were getting hard time to be recognized by the international community? I mean, why you are now in the United Nations, like an independent country?
We're struggling to be recognized.
Yeah.
Since 1991, we have been struggling to be a recognized country. But, unfortunately, we didn't succeed yet.
Yeah.
We did what the democratic states that are sitting there in the United Nations have failed to do.
Yeah.
We did those successful elections that I've told you. In 2010, the incumbent president have lost the race and handed the power to the opposition leader.
Yeah.
It has never happened in the African continent. So what we did really is something that we are proud of.
Yeah.
We, as Somalilanders,
Yeah.
we love our country, and we devote all our efforts to be recognized as an independent state which has its seat in the United Nations. That's what we are fighting for.
Okay. Now, you're here. I know you have a book coming. You have a book already. You're here in the United States. You went to talk to United Nations people. Can you tell us what are you doing to be recognized, to let the international community recognize officially the Somaliland? Because if what you are telling me, in some countries, a lot of African countries, we don't see that. There is no democratic election. The president in power will not lose the election and hand it to the opposition. But you guys, you did it. I am proud of that. You did it very, very good. And I know you are working hard to let international community recognize Somaliland. You are here. Can you tell us what you tell to those people in the United Nations about Somaliland, to let them know it's a country that need to be recognized like sovereign and independent country?
Of course, yeah. I think beginning of this month, I think it was from 10 up to 15, I've been in the United Nations.
Yeah.
I've participated in annual meeting which is called High-Level Political Forum. It's a big forum which all the United Nations come together annually, and they discuss about, the current issues. So the specific issues that we have been invited as people from Somaliland was promoting the case of Somaliland in the United Nations, and also to show the international community that we are ready to adopt the frameworks that you know, the United Nations agree on. We always try to adapt within our country, although they do not recognize us. We have a national development plan. The second national development plan has been developed this year. NDP 1 was adopted and has been implemented in Somaliland, National Development Plan 1, and National Development Plan 2 has been adopted now.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 years, we have been working with the United Nations how Somaliland National Development Plan can be in line with the international standards that are adopted in the United Nations. So we met a lot of people from around the globe.
Yeah.
We told about the Somaliland case. They were so impressed, really. We told how we do things, the space that we get as a civil society.
Yeah.
We told them that our system ensures a big space for the civil society to hold the government into account.
Okay.
So they really admired, you know, the report that we produced there. We also ensured that Somaliland, you know, community are really willing to adopt those frameworks in order to show the well that they deserve to be recognized.
Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about SONSAF. Let's talk about SONSAF and its proposed or a platform and its major accomplishments. What's your organization platforms, and what did you accomplish since you've been active?
SONSAF is a platform for the entire Somaliland non-state actors.
Yeah.
So it represents the civil society people, the private sector people, the professional associations, the community elders. So it's the wider network for the non-state actors. So it has been founded in 2008 to strengthen the voice of civil society and to open space for the civil society in order to make, you know, the government into account, and in order to contribute at the policy dialogue level of the state. So we really accomplished so many things. You know, the long decade that we have been working, we accomplished a lot. But the top example that I can give you now, for the last 3 elections, the one that was held in 2010, the one that was the second presidential election was held in 2010. The second local council election was held in 2012, and the third presidential election was held late last year, 13th of November 2017. So for the last 3 elections, SONSAF have done a very successful mission, which is called Domestic Election Observations Mission.
Okay.
So that mission is meant for the Somaliland community to observe their election.
To see if the election is going to be fair and transparent.
Exactly. To see how elections are being conducted. Is it fair? Is there any malpracticing that's going on there? So for the last election, which was held in November last year, 667 non-partisan individuals from the civil society has been trained and deployed to the polling stations throughout Somaliland. The information that we have conducted is the book that I'm going to present here in the United States. It's called Somaliland Decides. Each and every time we observe an election, we produce this report. And we disseminate all around the globe. We do as much as we can, you know, to distribute around the globe. So this time, I came here to disseminate that report, to share the Somalilanders as well as other people who are interested to see the case of Somaliland. To look at this book, read through it, and see how we are practicing this democracy. So last week I've been in Washington, D.C. I met with the Somaliland community, including other people, you know, who always are we call, you know, the friends of Somaliland.
Yeah.
I've presented this report, and they were really admired, you know, the way our elections has been conducted. They were not aware, the Somalilanders in the North America, especially in the United States, they were not aware that the civil society go to the polling stations and observe the election. They were really shocked. What they have been asking was, can we participate in the upcoming elections?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was really, you know, very fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm here in Minnesota to present, same like, you know, Washington, D.C., where here in Minnesota we have a large number of Somaliland community in the United States. So it will be a big opportunity for SONSAF and for Somaliland as well. Our people here in the diaspora and in this, you know, state, which, you know, most of Somalilanders live here, to see this report and the presentation that I'm going to give them for this weekend in 28th of August.
Okay, now you are talking about the report, which is most of the whole of your book, the report. Okay, can you tell us when you have your election last year in November 2017? Did you have other countries like observer came to see what how you do your election, how you conduct your election, or just your organization SONSAF only was there to conduct, to verify if everything is going right?
Of course, there was international observers that were observing how election has been conducted. They presented their report in Somaliland and outside Somaliland as well.
And what did they say?
They said it was free and fair election. Okay,
good. Good. It's the most important, free and fair election. Okay, congratulations. Now, you know, I'm happy to hear people say somewhere in Africa the election or conducts fairly and clearly. Okay, thank you very much. And it's the way to congratulate your organization. And now I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about you just say what you went to DC, you met people here in Minnesota. Are you going to meet Somaliland? I was going to say Somalia. Somaliland people here. I know you met one other, Zaki. You met Zaki already. Are you going to meet other people and try to explain them how and encourage them to help or to support your organization or to support everything you're doing back home in Somaliland?
Yes. We have a meeting here this weekend, 28th of August. We have a meeting with the Somaliland community here in Minneapolis, where we believe the majority of Somalilanders in the United States are living here in this state, Minnesota. So we'll have a very interesting meeting, which I'm eagerly awaiting to meet with them, to present, you know, the report, to present how SONSAF is operating down in the country. And also we need their support and their input for this, you know, a good exercise that's going on in the country.
Quickly, can I ask you a question? Something came in my mind. You're saying the big mission, the main mission of SONSAF is to verify or to conduct, to see if the election is fair and clear. Okay. Are you helping people for human rights, or is it just for election, or are you taking calls sometimes for people human rights violation?
We record every incident that happens, really.
Okay.
We record every incident, Because you know this mission.
I mean, like voting rights violation, all that restriction, all that your organization is trying to make sure everybody has a right to vote or have opportunity to vote.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know, before the election, we do what's called voter education.
Yeah.
Educate the people, you know, the importance for them to vote.
Yeah.
As if they are, you know, voting for their leaders. Because we encourage them to go to the polls at the first stage. And while we are conducting, you know, this assessment, you know, the individuals who are stationed at the polling stations, they are observing, you know, everything that's going on in that polling station. So we do train them in a form.
Yeah.
So the sequence of the election steps are listed in that form. So they do have a checklist that they can check every step that happens there. And at the end, we gather those information, we put in a report, and we present. So whatever happens there is recorded in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have the book in Minnesota for how you call it, for Somaliland people?
Yeah, I brought here the hard book here.
Yeah.
Which is printed in the country.
Yeah.
So I disseminated some in DC, and the rest I will disseminate here in 28th. And I will also give you a copy.
Thank you. Okay, now let's go back to Somaliland. Somaliland is, I heard, you know what, I work with I have a lot of friends from Djibouti, from Somaliland. And I heard from Somaliland since 2005. I was thinking, what is that? It's a joke or what? They say, oh no, it's real. It's real. And for years and years, I used to, and I know, I start seeing people from Somaliland, and now we get here, and I have to meet. I am in front of me the chairman of one of the advocate of Somaliland. Tell me, Somaliland, why is very important for you guys to have Somaliland? Because when we see Somalia and Somaliland, they are the same people. What is very important to have a Somaliland separate to a Somali?
It's a very good question, really. You know, ethnically, we are Somalis.
Yeah.
The Djiboutians are Somalis as well. But if you go back to our history, in 1960, by the time we have gained our independence, it was us, the Somalilanders, who were dreaming, you know, what's so-called Greater Somalia.
Yeah.
There are 5 Somalis. You know, one is part of Kenya, one is part of Ethiopia, one is Djibouti, and the rest are Somaliland and Somalia.
Right.
So Somaliland was the first Somali region that gained its independence from the colonial.
Okay.
So Somalilanders were the ones who were advocating the idea of Greater Somalia.
Greater Somalia.
Then we went all the way to Mogadishu.
Yeah.
That's the time we merged the 2 Somalis. You know, that thing has happened dramatically, I can say, because there was no act of union that was signed at that time.
Oh, okay.
To the contrary, the love of Greater Somalia have inherited us to be bombarded and to be severely killed.
Oh.
They have shown us no mercy, really, because they've got the absolute power. They didn't give us any power sharing, any resource sharing, no nothing. By the time we tried, you know, to claim what we should have, get our rights, then they put all the pressure on Somaliland. People have been detained, massacred, and then war broke out in Somaliland. close to 100,000 people have lost their lives to regain our sovereignty once again.
Wow.
The brutal dictator who was on power at that time, Siad Barre, has demolished all our fortunes. Our cities were like empty boxes, like an ash trash.
Wow.
We fled to Ethiopia. You know, there was a movement for the Somalilanders, which was called SNM. They fought against that regime. That, you know, war was going on almost 2 years. Then it triggered, you know, all the way to the south. So the regime was toppled down in 1991.
Okay.
So in 1991, the Somalilanders has came together and convened in Bur'o. Bur'o is the second capital of Somaliland. They came together. They validated, you know, what they have experienced for that 30 years. Strong people, traditional elders, community, you know, leaders, intellectuals, they came together in Bur'o. They validated, you know, what they have been looking for and what they have inherited. Then this decision has came up.
Okay, I see.
This time we need to be separate state.
Oh, it makes sense.
Then we went back to 1960, and from 1991 up to now, Somalilanders have been, you know, working very well together. They have established it from the scratch everything. They have established, you know, government institutions. They disarmed the armed militias that toppled down that, you know, that brutal regime for not getting any help from the international community. The system that we have in Somaliland, I'm proud to say it's local made system.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because before coming in studio, I did my homework.
Yeah.
I did my homework and I watched a video. I watched a video before coming, and that video is explaining to me how peaceful is Somaliland, how organized is Somaliland with own currency, with own. He says this video was saying is beautiful place to live.
Yeah.
So I see where you come from, and I see you're telling the truth, and what you're saying, it makes sense. Now, let's say I go to Somaliland. How many big cities do you have? How many big cities? Or let's say I go to Somaliland for 1 or 2 days. What can I remember when I leave Somaliland?
You know, the Somalilanders, you know, they are very friendly people.
Yeah.
Very charming and welcoming, really. You will witness a people that you will remember all the time.
Oh, wow.
We have 6 main cities. The capital city is Hargeisa.
Hargeisa. Okay.
Bur'o, Borame, Berbera is our coastal city. We have a very nice beach, organic beach.
Organic.
Yeah, very clean.
You mean fresh air?
Fresh air.
Oh, okay.
We have also Erigavo. Erigavo is a very green. How I can explain? We have a natural resource which you cannot get any other place on the earth.
Wow.
We say we have francine minerals.
Oh.
That you cannot get anywhere on the globe. So Erigavo is the best place to visit when you come to Somaliland. Good. We have also Las Anod. We have that 6, you know, main cities. The thing that we always, you know, give to the guests is we have a very sweet lamb meat on earth.
Oh. lamb meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Usually people say goat meat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Okay. It's getting interesting now. Very, very interesting. Now let's go a little bit. You guys, you have election last year in November, and you elected a new president. What is the name? Who is elected new president?
Musa Bihi Abdi was elected as a new president. He was the candidate for the ruling party,
Yeah.
which is called Kolmiye. There were two contestants,
Yeah.
Abdurrahman Muhammad Abdullahi Irro and Faisal Ali Hussein. So the winner was our current president now, Musa Bihi Abdi.
Okay, so when you came to the nation, you tried to explain to you witnessed yourself the election of this guy, and you can assure them it was democratically done and well done, fairly done.
Of course, of course.
And when you present your book to the Washington, how people receive the book, the report?
It was a very interesting meeting, really. We have been together for almost 2 hours. I was standing in front of them, telling everything that happened. You know, the people who are living here in the United States, they rarely come back to the country. Comparing, you know, to the Somalilanders living in Europe, they eventually comes again and again. I don't know, because of the distance, because, you know, there are a lot of reasons that I can say, but they really like it. And the way, you know, the election has been conducted and the way, you know, Somaliland is moving forward, they really like it. And they want to be part of that success story, which is going on there, really.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, myself, I want to be part of that story too, because it's fascinating.
Yeah.
This one is a very, very good story. Now, you know what? Your organization, to survive, needs help, needs support. And I know people are going to criticize you. I know that. And I know it's not going to be, it's not easy. So tell me, what is the hard part of being chairman of SONSAF, and who is helping you financially, or who is sponsoring you to get the job done? Because the work you're doing is not easy. It's a very, very, very hard and big job. To supervise the election is not something small. It's very big. So how can you handle all that? You're doing that by yourself, or you have staff? And who is helping you to get the job done?
Of course, yeah. Implementing, you know, such this huge task, it needs a fund, definitely. We get funds from the European Union. They have been supporting since they start. And this mission of domestic observation mission, it was the EU who was supporting all those elections, really.
Yeah.
We do thank them. Sometimes we locally fundraise.
Okay.
Because this is not the only thing that we do. We do a lot of things.
Yeah.
We advocate for our members. For example, we advocate for the private sector people. If they are suffering from tax rates or something like that, we do advocate. We hold meetings. We meet with the decision makers. Sometimes we produce reports. Sometimes we do press briefings. Sometimes we denounce actions that governments always do. So we do a lot of work. We advocate for the civil society. We debate about every national issue that comes out. So sometimes we fundraise, but most of them will rely on the support of the EU and the international donors, like the government of Denmark. There are some people, the government of Sweden. Sometimes we start to raise an issue, they see this an important issue, then they support.
Okay. And also, I would like you to talk about the, okay, it's not to talk about what you're doing is very interesting, it's very good, and it's very helpful. You're doing this locally. Are you thinking to extend what you're doing to the rest of Africa, your neighbors' countries, to help them to follow your footstep and see what you're doing? Because what you're doing is very successful. I know election, I've been part of, I know what I'm talking about. I've been part of that stuff, is not today. And what you're doing is unique. It's not done in a place like that. Local organization, supervise organization, election, and get them done fairly. It's not easy. Because most of the time the government on power don't give chance to local organization to do that, to supervise, to see clear what's going on. I don't know the way you are doing, but I don't know how you did it. It's fascinating, and now I'm asking you to see if you are attending to extend your experience to other countries, your neighbors first, and see if the rest of Africa can get can profit of your experience.
Of course, yeah. Sometimes we meet our neighbors, sometimes we meet African countries, we exchange ideas, we exchange experience. So we reach out really. In Africa, in Middle East, and even in the United States. Our brothers from Africa have been there as well. There has been delegation from Sudan and Uganda as well. So those three countries has been invited this year. We've been sharing the experience and the way we conduct, the missions that we are doing in our countries. So we do experience sharing. Sometimes, they benefit something from us and we gain something from them. So it's an exchange of ideas. We have a strength and we have a weakness as well. So, and getting this space is not something that we have, ensured overnight. We have a long way that we came here, really. By the time we started, this platform, our current government at that time have been seeing this platform that it's inappropriate, really. They didn't welcome at the starting point. So we've been advocating for the civil society to get this space for quite some time. So the politicians do not always like us. The government do not always love how we are operating, and the information that we are always sending to the international community and also to the local people. But we invested this process really a lot. We did we voluntarily put all our efforts this platform to come where it is today. So, activism is not something easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I know. It's not easy. Yeah. So I want to congratulate you for that. You did a great job, and I don't want you to go back again. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And also, I would like you to let Somaliland people here to know how important your organization is for the future of the land. Because this one is like the police, the civil police.
Of course.
Behind.
You can call.
Yeah. If I can say that, it's like the civil police behind to just watch. Oh, are you doing right? Oh no, this has to go this way. It has to be right. Thumbs up for you guys. You're doing very great. And also, I want you to talk a little bit about your relation between Somaliland and Somalia, your neighbor, your neighbor. Are you getting along right now? Everything's okay? Because the both sides, one side is cool, one side is a little bit hard. I don't know how you do it.
Our relationship is not good, really. I can say the people travel both ways. We speak same language. We have, we have a ties as Somali community.
Yeah.
But in a political wise, we do not have good relations. They are not happy about our case. We know they are in chaos. Instead of focusing, their own way and solving their own, problems, they are busy about jeopardizing Somaliland. They are not happy about us. They always say they are still part of us. Letting everybody not to look at the Somaliland side, saying that they are part of us, while everybody knows that Somaliland has been a separate country for all that 27 years. We know internationally we are not recognized, but they didn't do what we did in 1960. So I can say I cannot blame the Somali people, the grassroots people, but I will put all the blame to the politicians. They think they don't want their country to be stabilized, and they want, instead of putting their efforts to destabilize their country and to safeguard their people, they are putting all their pressure to some artificial things, attending high-level meetings, denouncing Somaliland case, trying to stop every way that Somaliland is going. So it's very unfortunate, really, I can say. I will, to my message, I can say that they need to look the example of Ethiopia, the new Prime Minister of Ethiopia. The way he's dealing with Eritrea. He's also appealing for them from the United Nations to lift the, arms embargo. See? So my message is that, harming, each other, it's not something which is good for them, which is good for us, for being together. We've been together for 30 years, and we have been separate for similar 30 years now. So if they do not confess the reality, time will bring the solution. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We are almost at the end of the show. What's your message for the international community to really recognize Somaliland's lack and independence and member of United Nations?
My message to the international community is Somaliland has been on since 1991. It's almost long 27 years. We've been a separate country for all that years. We have been practicing this democracy. We have been, we have been an example for Africa as well. And as a country and as a people, let me say, because we always represent the civil society and the grassroots people.
Yeah.
We determine our country to be an independent country. As a people, we determine it. So I propose the international community and the United Nations to consider the self-determination of the Somalilanders. That's my message.
Yes. I can say you're right. You've been fighting for Somaliland, for the recognition of Somaliland is not today, and I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time for the international community and the UN, the United Nations, to say yes, to recognize officially. And by the next General Assembly, I want United Nations to put in their agenda. We are receiving a new member.
Thank you very much.
A new member which is going to be Somaliland.
Yeah. We're really hopeful. We're really hopeful.
Yeah. Because there's nothing more grateful than the self-aspiration to the freedom. You see my point?
Of course.
There's nothing better.
Yeah.
I usually say it can be anything, but you know you're not gonna be happier somewhere else more than in your house.
Of course.
Or on your land.
Of course.
So you guys, you can be anywhere in this world. It's not gonna be the same like being in Somaliland. And they need to recognize that. They need, and they have to. Because you cannot push, you cannot ignore, you cannot close your eyes on some reality. You cannot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we are in Minnesota, and we have a Somaliland community, a Somaliland community here. I want you to tell them in your own language, in your own dialect. Give them your message of hope. Give them. Let's go.
Thank you, Eve. Yeah. It was a very interesting interview, and I'm really happy to be here at Tempo Afrique Studio in Minnesota. This time, I need to be authentic and give Somali message to my community. runtii waxaan aad ugu faraxsanahay inaan maanta halkan idinla joogo gobolkan Minnesota. Waxaan ka imid dalkii 10kii bisha Somaliland. Waxaan imid halkan anigoo ka qayb galaya shir ka dhacaya xarunta qaramada midoobay General Assembly-ga. Shirkaas oo magaciisa la yiraahdo High Level Political Forum. Shir aad u ballaaran buu ahaa. tusaalaha Somaliland baanu meesha keenay iyo ujeedadana loo soo casuumay waxa framework la yiraahdo SDG ama Sustainable Development Goals iyo in wadamada dunidu ay ku dabaqaan waxa la yiraahdo National Development Plan ama qorshaha horumarinta ee dalka. shiraad u qiimo badan buu ahaa. tusaalihii Somaliland tusaale aad looga mabsuuday buu runtii ahaa. halkanna waxaan kaloo aan markii shirkaasi noo dhamaaday buug doorashadeennii dhacday 13 November 2017 aanu ka qornay oo la yiraahdo Somaliland Decides ayaan halkan idin wadaa. number buugaaga baan ka soo qaaday Hargeysa. qayb ka mid ah waxaan ku qaybiyay Washington oo kula kulmay jaaliyadda reer Somaliland. 18 bishan halkan kulan ku yeelanaynaa jaaliyadda Somaliland ee Minnesota oo aan filayo amaba ay tahay jaaliyadda ugu ballaaran ee Somaliland ee ku nool Mareykanka. message-ka runtii ugu muhiimsan ee maanta interview-ga halkan aan ka bixiyay inuu ku aadanaa socdaalkayga meelaha uu doonaba hayla soo maraa United Nations ha noqoto ama community-yada ha noqotaba uu ku aadan yahay waxa weeyaan in Somaliland case aynu kor u qaadno. qof wal oo reer Somaliland oo halkan jooga waa inuu yaqiinsado in magaca Somaliland sidii uu meel u gaari lahay mas'uuliyad ka saaranta. marka waxaan idin leeyahay dadka sharafta badan ee gobolkan ku nool iyo dhammaan inta muuqaalkaygan daawan doontaba Somaliland innaga ayaa iska leh, innaga go'aansanay, innagana meel gaarsiin karna. aynu istaagno inay Somaliland wax noqoto dunidana laga aqoonsado. aad baad u mahadsantiin.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mustafa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want just to thank you. Thank you for listening, for watching us, and next time I will see you here in the same time, 8 p.m. Central Time, for another episode of Special Edition. Thank you, Malik. My name was Yves Kenao, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.